We are now live streaming.
Blah, 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 blah.
Today's episode of the Geek EZ is brought to you by Sony Pictures Symbiote.
Oh, actually, if we want to talk about something, I finally watched the final trailer for Deadpool.
Yes.
Shots fired.
Did you see the one for Teen Titans?
I have not.
Because they fired back. But let's see. Tank went to go get something to water. I did the whole. Oh, he's back. You missed it. I said today's show was brought to you by Sony Pictures Symbiotes. Symbiotes. But
well,
let's do the.
I think the show's also brought to you by a drunken Alistair because he had soup.
Drunk.
Fermented
I have
soup.
soup.
Or let's do that whole. Let everybody know that we're for grown-ups, and we'll be right back.
The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
Was it just me, or was that incredibly loud?
It was a little loud, yeah.
Holy crap, I haven't changed anything. That was like... Sorry sorry for those wearing headphones, because woof.
Like me.
So sorry. I'm wearing headphones too. And
My ears, they bleed!
What?
Are
I
all
can't
really
hear
loud.
you. My eardrums have exploded.
What?
Well, it could help that I have my audio, my headphone turned up to like 35. Don't need that.
Like, once I reinstalled Discord and whatnot, everything was a lot louder. I'm like, why?
So loud. Oh, so yeah, we'll get the shots. We'll do the Deadpool thing first, because yes, shots were fired all over the place.
So many shots.
Let's see. There was the DC universe. So dark. Are you from the DC universe? You sure you're not from the DC universe? Then there was the shots about Thanos. What other ones were there? There were a few. I'm just more impressed that they got a production designer and a costume designer that, although I thought it was impossible, they made the characters look worse than they do in the books. Because Shatterstar, seriously, that's what you thought was a screen-ready costume?
I feel like it wasn't done intentionally.
Oh my god, it was horrific. The purple, I mean, seriously, it was like the wig was so bad. Everything was just so bad about it. I was like, this is horrendous. I mean, Deadpool, Cable, they look fine. Colossus looks good.
They made fun of Cable, though. With the old arms. Like, wait, what is this? Because they didn't show the CG was in place yet.
Mm-hmm. That was in the first one. The first trailer.
To be fair, I saw it when I went to see Sergeant Stubby. Talk about that later.
Oh, yes. But I mean, then, well, the Teen Titans, they're on their Twitter feed. They posted the little shot of Jon Stewart talking about the Green Lantern in the movie that he had, but they don't like to talk about it. So it was like, yeah. And it was more of a shot at Ryan Reynolds than it was at... I mean, it was self-deprecating humor, but...
Ryan Reynolds will just rip on it anyway. He doesn't care.
You know, and I'm sure when he can rip on it, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he's more upset the fact, because I think he didn't mind playing that character.
No, he did fine. It was done. Everything else about it was poorly made.
Poorly executed.
You know who's going to be the true star of Deadpool, though?
Domino?
Dopinder.
Peter.
Oh, Peter. I got no powers. I just saw the ad.
You're hired.
Just the fact that he looks like completely mellow skydiving. Some people are saying he's probably Pete Wisdom.
Huh?
Are we not hearing things?
Yeah, for some, I don't know. I thought Alistair. Yeah. Huh?
What?
Alistair was speaking.
Yes, I know.
Did you
No,
not hear me?
fine.
Did anybody else not hear me?
I heard you. Why am I hearing? Hold on. No, I know what it is. I heard the Twitch stream. Oh my god.
I was going to say, did you forget to mute the Twitch stream?
Yes, I did. So stupid. Oh,
Today's
where's
episode of
Firefly?
Geek EZ is
Yeah,
brought to
we
you
don't have a
by-
Firefly tonight.
You never know. He might be busy.
Huh.
He might show up later.
I
He is
should-
Firefly. He comes and goes at will. He is Firefly, you know.
I should change my avatar to actually be a tech wizard.
I don't know. It's kind of amusing to see that it's that's Snake, right?
Yes.
Actually, it's not. It's Captain America.
It looks like he's got the headband.
The headband is put on him because he looks so much like he could be playing Solid Snake.
Oh, there you go. It's official. Chris Evans is now going to be Solid Snake.
You can play as John Wick in Fortnite.
That poor dog.
Which one?
The first one. You just don't mess with a man's dog. Oh,
Hmm.
here we go. This because I mean it's going to be obviously we're going to be very comic book movie centric right now. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Flippity flippity. Well, there's the James Cameron thing, but did the Jurassic World trailer come out last week or was it after our show?
I don't know.
Because I'm kind of upset about that trailer as well. Because now I feel like I don't need to see the movie. It was like one of the. It blew my mind that they put that much into the trailer. I was like, what? So much.
So
It's like-
little.
Well, they put an awful lot. They put an awful lot of the plot into the trailer, and I was like, well, it's probably a little too much, guys. Then of course there was the Venom trailer.
Which I admit, I was like, okay, looks kind of all right. I still don't have any real interest in it.
And it's just not one of those. It's Venom. He's not a bad character. He's just kind of Venom.
Yeah, I mean, he's just Venom. It's like trying to build a film around Gambit. There's just certain characters that no one cares.
Yeah, they're secondary, and there's a reason they're secondary characters. It's like the Avengers are different. It's like Iron Man, Captain America. They're the core members, but you could not do a Scarlet Witch movie. I'm sorry, you couldn't do it.
If they were going to do a Venom movie, they should have done Agent Venom.
Well, they should have done it right and incorporated it into Spider-Man.
I don't know. I like
Yeah.
Agent Venom where it's Flash Thompson after he lost a leg in like Iraq or something, and he and the symbiote do like secret agent stuff.
And by out,
He was part of the Guardians for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think one tying it into Spider-Man would be good, but also Agent Venom. And
Yeah.
now I am a proper tech wizard.
Tech wizard.
Wizard.
The yeah, I mean yeah, they showed Venom, and it looks a little flashier than the one we saw in Spider-Man 3.
Flash.
But
I switched it.
but it doesn't. I don't know. It wasn't. It just didn't. I don't know. It didn't look that much different. He was shinier.
Shiny Venom?
Well, yeah, he kind of. It's like
Shinier.
he
I
looked
gotta get
more
a
like
Pokeball.
he looked like the Violator more than Venom. I don't know.
As somebody had pointed out, though, they actually did a good job showing the Venom that McFarlane did, you know, with the big teethy grin, and then how it morphed into with the long tongue and all that. And that's by a guy who works for Marvel, so I'm willing to, you know, give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. That he, you know, he's got good creds on that. I had to think about it. I was like, you know, he's got a point. Doesn't mean I really want to watch it.
I mean, I don't know if the when's it come out? Later this year, right?
October, I believe. So I guess it's fitting. Make it a horror film.
I do like the whole split personality thing they had going on.
Well, it's never a split personality.
Well, yeah. Well, the fact that it was basically telling Eddie Brock, it's like, okay, we can do whatever we want. I can control you. That was kind of cool.
Which is true. That's the way it's always been. He gains more control over the symbiote later in the series, but yeah.
Well, the symbiote's always kind of fed off of anger some. That's why it pumped up Spidey's anger.
Adrenaline. That's the official word. They feed off adrenaline.
Now, they didn't give too much away, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see at least Carnage or one of the other symbiotes. Because there was more than one at that lab. And do we go into the whole symbiote?
Was he Carnage is what Cletus Cassidy, right? And then
yes.
He infected a bunch of other people later when his suit reproduced or something, right?
Well, Carnage was a
Carnage,
part of the Venom.
Carnage's suit is Venom's offspring, but then Carnage created like a whole bunch of other ones at one point, or something like that.
The whole symbiote Starland thing is pretty convoluted, and now they're doing Venomized, and that's also just as convoluted and weird.
But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Venom and Carnage start taking swipes at each other. Either way. Will I see it? I'll probably see it. I want an Aquaman trailer is what I want. Because
If Aquaman can get a movie, why not?
it's Aquaman.
I mean, that was in
always
one of the
been
Teen
a fan.
Titans trailer.
Yeah. I've always been an Aquaman fan. I don't know. I never got that. I always thought it was kind of mean that people just kind of poo-pooed Aquaman because he was useless. He wasn't useless.
Well, you know what brought that about, though?
The Super Friends.
Super Friends.
You do talk to fish, right?
My ability to talk to fish is useless here, Wonder Woman.
It's like, where are we going? To the desert. I'm just going to stay home.
I'm going to dry out in an instant.
It's like, my ability to talk to fish is useless here, but my ability to punch people into orbit is perfectly useful.
Yes. I like that they showed that in Justice League. I mean, he took some solid hits from Steppenwolf. I mean, he got thrown around and he just kept he got hit by Superman and came back.
Yeah, but he's I think they did not show him as strong as he should have been. He was underpowered, so was Wonder Woman, in my opinion.
Did they acknowledge the fact that he can swim like as fast or faster than Superman?
I think they in the Justice League movie, they acknowledge that he doesn't actually swim. He flies through the water. I mean, he never moves his limbs. He just moves.
The water moves for him.
Yes. It's
Also
actually
said the
pretty
water
sweet.
does the talking.
Yes, water does the talking. He just listens. Fruits don't talk. Fruits just listens. For the Squidbilly fans out there. I missed that show. What happened to Squidbillies?
Canceled?
Did it get canceled? Because that was a hilarious show. Thank
think
you,
it's still
Adult
out there.
Swim. Adult Swim. Canceling and or not producing things that people want to see. Yet giving us crap that makes you want to change the channel.
Oh, nope. It's still going. There have been 114 episodes on over 11 seasons.
Holy cow,
It's
it's been
been
11 seasons?
It's been renewed for a 12th season.
You know, I was all upset when Aqua Teen Hunger Force finally went away. Okay, where are we at? Oh, let's get into it'll be tomorrow. It opens tomorrow, even though it technically opens Friday. Avengers Infinity War opens tomorrow. And with all of the news and the hype and all the stuff going around, director James Cameron, in an interview, decided he was going to throw some shade and say he just hopes that Avengers fatigue settles in or sets in soon. And I don't think he's realized that Avatar fatigue set in years ago, and yet he's still producing his movie.
Yeah, I still never watched it. I just don't care.
I tried. I was not successful.
Dances with Smurfs.
Thunder Smurfs. You've been Thunder Smurfed.
Oh, I don't have it queued up. I'm sorry.
Hello, everybody.
Best burrito I've ever eaten.
Yum,
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 yum.
yum.
Oh, look, now we got a scroll bar. Hold on, I got to fix something. There we go. All of a sudden, you joined the room, and the scroll bar appeared on our stream because I have the
Gotcha.
overlay. Okay,
But
so what do you
yeah.
want? Why are you here, Don? Ladies and gentlemen, the door opened and a Don Burrito entered.
I want to tell you guys about something.
Yes, I have something to tell y'all. I'm linking it here in the cantina.
Look, we're just not interested in your Lord and Savior, Taco.
Brand flex?
Paramount confirms that they are working on not one, but 2 separate Star Trek movies.
Tarantino's and JJ's?
They did not give any details, just that they are working on 2.
I wonder if one's like a spinoff. Spinoffs seem to be popular lately.
They are both being done with partner Skydance Pictures.
That's assuming that it'll happen. I mean, just because it's been greenlit doesn't mean that it's actually going to be produced. They may come to the conclusion we don't want it after all.
But yeah, this is...
It's going to happen because they don't want Carl Urban to manifest in their office and ask questions.
But this is coming from Paramount Pictures head Jim Giannopoulos at CinemaCon.
Is that like breaking news?
It just went up on TrekCore about 25 minutes ago.
That's why I haven't seen it. See, TrekCore is not one of my feeds that pops in regularly. I go there every once in a while.
Oh yeah, I love TrekCore.
But yeah, that's pretty cool actually. I wonder if it's more in line with the fact that Disney and Lucasfilm are cranking out a Star Wars movie once a year, and it's like, okay, we need to do this. We need to get on the bandwagon, kind of like they did back in '78. It was more of a, well, Star Wars was huge. What do we got? Got Star Trek. Well, let's do that.
Well, there's still a possibility that they're going to merge the CBS and Viacom. That rumor's still floating around, so.
True.
And apparently a third movie is part of the partnership deal between Paramount and Skydance, including the two Star Trek movies. The third one's the Top Gun reboot with Tom Cruise.
I don't know if that's actually a reboot or if it's the actual sequel, because they've been talking about doing that for a while, where Cruise is now a retired instructor or something.
Ah, wait.
Well, the guy tweeting about it.
Retirement house.
It was like they're going to be, showing out, the change in warfare. We don't need pilots anymore. We got drones, yada yada.
But I am out. Just wanted to let you guys know about that.
Cool.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Thanks for letting us know. That was some pretty good breaking news.
You're welcome.
And then, just like Taco Bell, the burrito passes.
Oh, that shade.
But okay, back to James Cameron.
Why?
Well, I
Well,
don't
from one dump
understand.
to another.
Yeah. Oh no,
Man. More shade.
It's like, okay, dude, you haven't had a really cool movie since Terminator 2. People will argue and say Titanic was a great film. Titanic was a
Okay, film.
good film.
I would disagree with that one. That it was a great film, in my opinion.
But you know how it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be
We
honest,
kind of know how Terminator ends, too, if you think about it.
that's true. I mean, but it was just like Terminator 2 was a really good movie. Titanic, meh, okay. I mean, what else has he done aside from Titanic and Avatar? Since then. I mean, Avatar had this huge following right off the bat, and then it just kind of faded away into nothingness. I mean, the closest they got to any kind of big hype was opening the Avatar world down at Disney, and even then, they don't hype that. You don't see that all over their commercials and stuff. You see Star Wars everywhere.
He was going to do Spider-Man with Leonardo DiCaprio and Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was going to do Planet of the Apes, but that was before Tim Burton's version was made.
Isn't he returning a Terminator?
As a producer.
And creative consultant, with Tim Miller signed on as director.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Arnold Schwarzenegger is confirmed he would return for that film.
I mean, don't get me. I mean, I think the guy's a talented director. I mean, he's got a good eye and stuff. His stories are kind of cliche. I mean, Avatar was a cliche. It was one cliche after another. Well, I mean, when you name the MacGuffin in your movie unobtainium, something's wrong. But
he really didn't have anything after. Let's see, he went Terminator 2, then True Lies, then Titanic, then Avatar, and then 2020 Avatar 2, 2021 Avatar 3.
Oh my God, we're still 3 years out for it? 2 years out?
So,
wow.
He doesn't have much in his filmography.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot of these directors, because the guy that directed Wolverine and Logan also was like all upset about, for one, he was all PO'd about PG-13 movies, and for some reason it was like, okay, so dude, you've had like 2 hit movies and that's it. And it's like, okay, and yeah, one of them was rated R. And it's like he was throwing shade on comic book movies. It's like, that's how you made your name, dude, was 2 comic book movies. You did the Wolverine and Logan. So don't talk to me how comic book movies are ruining Hollywood, because that's what you just made your name on. And then Cameron, it's like, what, guys? I mean, this is what people are buying. This is what people want to see. Obviously, people want to see these things because they're spending money. Make a movie that people want to see, and they'll go see it.
No, he did a lot of documentaries in between, so that was what was going on.
And I will say, I saw his Titanic documentary, and that was actually a much better movie than Titanic. But I don't know. I think it's funny watching these creatives get all pissy because people want to spend their money to go watch guys in colorful costumes beat each other up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because Again, these things are making billions upon billions of dollars. If it wasn't making money, they wouldn't be making them.
Right?
Ooh, here's why we might not get a Moon Knight TV series.
Because he's crazy.
No, Feige mentioned him as a possibility for a movie.
Yeah, but they've been talking it back and forth that Netflix wanted to do a series as well, so...
Yeah, but we know that the movie side is not getting along with the TV side, and if they can snatch a character for themselves, they probably will.
True. They need to settle that one, because this whole rift, even though it's like the last time they connected was Captain America Winter Soldier. They need to fix the rift.
Fix the glitch.
It sounds like as long as, was it Perlmutter's involved, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. At least we're getting Coulson back in the films for Captain Marvel.
Scarlet Witch is... not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow supposedly might be a prequel as well.
It'll make more money than Red Sparrow.
I'm kind of iffy about prequels in the Marvel universe now, for established characters anyway, because at this point you kind of know how it ends. You're going to have to find some interesting way of making suspense.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's the whole episodes 1, 2, and 3 aspect. It's like putting characters that you know survived to episode 4 in dire peril kind of doesn't make any sense.
You're referring to a certain trailer involving someone very hairy?
No, well, yeah, there's that, and then I'm referring more to the Obi-Wan Kenobi syndrome. The first film, but Obi-Wan Kenobi sitting there up against Darth Maul, hanging from a thing. It's like, oh no, is Obi-Wan going to get out? Of course he is, because he's got 3 more movies to go.
Yeah, we know he's going to make it.
We know he's going to make it. It's kind of like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Whenever they put young Indiana Jones in a situation that was life and death, it made no sense, because we already know Indiana Jones survives.
Let me throw this out here, since you kind of opened the door on this.
You know?
What if, for a prequel, instead of focusing on, young Obi-Wan and Anakin and all that, they actually went a bit further forward of that. Covered the time of, like, Plagueis, did prequel time, 3 films of that, leading up into what we know will become the Clone Wars and such. And because we know it's going to happen, they're going to survive. We don't need to actually explore that time period. Stuff's going to happen. But what led to that point?
I think we need a Yaddle movie.
Moving on.
Yaddle, yeah.
Didn't she die in the Clone Wars?
Dead before the Clone Wars.
She was assassinated, right?
I don't know about the assassination part, but definitely did. DED did. But anyway, do you think that would have been better for prequels instead of focusing on, young Anakin and such? Even though we know it's all a family thing and it's always been about Darth Vader's Anakin's story.
Wikipedia says, following the Battle of Naboo, Yaddle decided to take a less active role in Jedi affairs and left the Jedi High Council by the time of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, did.
See, but you know what? Solo, I think, has a different thing just because it's filling in a story. We already know the story somewhat, but it's filling in a blank. Kind of like Rogue One did. Even though Rogue One, they were able to kill all those characters off.
I'm hoping Solo is secretly more of a Lando movie.
Yes. Or a Chewie movie. We need more Chewie, because Chewie actually had nothing to do in The Last Jedi aside from break down a door. I mean, he is an integral part. And Lando is an integral part of the whole series, too, and it's very upsetting that they completely just negated him from both Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
Well, you still didn't really answer the question, though. Do you think that would have actually had better prequels than...
Yeah. Yes and no. I still think, those are stories that would be awesome to be told. To show exactly what happened. How did Plagueis die? How did Sidious do that? Aside from just, I killed him in his sleep. Do those kind of stories. I don't mind those kind of secondary stories that are off to the side. That tie in. That's why I think Rebels work so well.
Well, we still got what Ryan Johnson's trilogy.
Yeah, we have no idea what he's going to do with those. And I don't mind as long. I mean, if it's set in the universe and ties somewhat to it, it's like
Maybe he's
Rebels
gonna
ties.
maybe he's gonna remake the Ewok adventure movies.
Well, oh, that would be funny. When I saw that, what's his name? Alden. What's it? Is it Henriksen? Is that how you say his name?
Ehrenreich, isn't it?
Ehrenreich. There you go. Yeah, Ehrenreich.
Yeah, doesn't he have a 3-picture deal?
Yeah, and that scared me. I was like, why would you sign a 3-picture deal to play a character unless they're going to do something? And then this flood of fear washed over me when I said it out loud to my wife. I was like, oh, dear Lord, I hope they're not planning on rebooting the original series.
No, we're gonna get the new special edition where he replaces Harrison Ford in the original movies.
Never going to happen. Because Lucasfilm will say to Harrison Ford, never going to give you up.
Never going to
We're
let
gonna
you
let you
down.
down.
And the only reason I said that is because something will be linked to us. You guys can't see it, but
Rick Astley loves Rick lolling everybody.
yes.
Speaking of Harrison Ford, guess he's actually going to do voice acting for it. First time ever.
Speaking of them not being able to see things, I'd like to say hello to listeners Cog Whistle and Slow Cool in the Twitch chat, even though they haven't said anything.
If you are real people, please say something.
New faces are always welcome.
Yes. Not that old faces aren't.
If you are not real people, I guess I have no follow-up to that.
The Geek EZ is recorded in front of a dead studio audience.
It smells. Please, someone take care of this audience.
So yeah, back to Harrison Ford. He's doing voice for
Undead.
Undead. Yes, the Undead audience. He's doing what? Secret Life of Pets 2, right?
That's apparently what they're joined by Patton Oswalt.
I find it funny that they're doing a sequel to that movie when I didn't think that movie made a lot of money. It was kind of
Box Office Mojo.
meh. It was a meh kind of film. My kids have watched
I don't know.
it
It
once.
was everywhere for a few months, though.
It was. I mean, they hyped the heck out of it, and when my kids finally saw it, they were like, meh. Kind of like storks. They were all geared up to see it, and then they saw it, and it was like, meh. And then there was the thing that was the Boss Baby.
Oh, jeez. Secret Life of Pets crushed. They almost made $1 billion.
Well, that's why there's a sequel.
Yeah, it did really well overseas, about 500 million.
Wow.
Let's see. Tomato meter is 74%, and audience score is 62%.
You think Harrison Ford be playing like a bloodhound or something?
The question is will Louis C.K. be back? Given some of the accusations against him.
Oh, wait a second. Why do we have a Firefly thing on our chat thing, but Firefly's not in the chat?
Because Twitch is not in real time.
Oh.
At least not for that part. The chat takes a bit to catch up.
That's from last week.
Necromorph's not included?
Yeah.
How do you know it's from last week?
I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Well, I guess he'll prove it if he says something again. We were joking about talking in front of a dead audience. We didn't mean it. I really think I think this is actually current time because the Necromorphs is I think a dead
Firefly, you're
space.
freaking me out, man.
I think it's a Dead Space joke.
Yes.
Bloody hell, it isn't from last week. See, he lives.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I don't see it at all in the chat when I gotta refresh my window then, I guess.
No, don't bother, man. Just it'll update on its own.
No, I gotta refresh my actual tits. my
Well,
Twitch stream.
Okay, Adam, it's okay. We're not going to judge. If you need to refresh your memories, by all means, step
Yes.
outside. We'll wait for you.
There you go, Firefly. I can see it now. Awesome. It's all good.
I think if we could do titles, that would be the title.
I gotta jiggle my boobs.
No, got to refresh.
Refresh my tits.
Yes.
She had huge tracts of land.
And
I almost named the new network that, Huge Tracts of Land. But I didn't, because for some reason when I renamed it, I was having issues with our new network and I had to go back, and now my network is just RTD2. There was some serious issues because You Darn Kids Get Off My Land was an awesome name. But it wasn't working.
Mine was Skynet for a little while.
But either way, back to what we were talking about. I don't know.
The euphemism still isn't quite as amusing as interdictor fields detected. We're not used to actually seeing his text show up. So,
But yeah, that's a new thing. It's not, well, it's because we're constantly talking to Firefly, and he's talking to us, and no one listening or watching, unless they're on our Twitch stream, can see what he's talking about, because we do broadcast on YouTube, and therefore, there we go. I put it in the stream.
So yeah, if anybody else shows up, your text will show up there too.
So yeah, I did not watch last week's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Does it seem like they're even come close to trying to tie to anything that's going on with the MCU?
Doesn't look like it yet. It's definitely tying in with, I guess, little flashback bits that they showed in the earlier episodes.
Yeah, I know they're definitely tying it in with second season.
No. That's not what I meant. I'm talking about earlier in this season.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I know that the stuff going on with the Gravitonium, it's tying back to when they first ran into the Gravitonium back in the second season.
Yeah.
Have the Koenigs come back yet?
No.
Oh. I'm still so far behind on this season. Every time I think I'm going to sit down and watch it, I end up getting caught up in something else.
You know what else didn't come back?
Trip.
Ward.
No Ward.
Not that we've seen.
Thank God.
I am really, really hoping that I mean, I know it's an impossibility that we'll see some of these characters on screen in Infinity War, but it's never going to happen. Because even though they address it all the time, oh, nope, never going to happen, not going to happen, not going to happen. But, oh, so just think, in 24 hours, I will be an hour into my film. Hour and a half into my film. I'm going to say an hour because of all the trailers that can be before it.
I'm not going to be seeing it. Well, technically it'll start at 10 for me. I'm picking up a coworker and we're going to go see it.
And I'm wondering if we should do a betting pool. Will he see the first 10 minutes of Pacific Rim first?
Because they're still playing it at the theater, there's a chance that I could see the first 10 minutes of Black Panther.
Yeah, we'd actually need to know what all you have in your theater so we can put down, an accurate betting pool. $1 on, it's going to be the first 10 minutes of Pacific Rim. $1 on Black Panther, whatever.
Well, they do have Sergeant Stubby.
Which is a good film, by all means. It's definitely kid-friendly.
It'd be kind of difficult for me to, put down what it exactly is showing or link to it, because then people will know where I'm going to be tomorrow night.
Must just remain stealthy.
Well, in regards to Sergeant Stubby, if you want to take your kids to watch a film, this is a very good one to take them to. It's very, very heartfelt, very much pulls on the heartstrings.
It's not going to make people cry, is it?
Oh, you go cry, but not in a bad way. And spoiler alert: Stubby survives. the whole story is about Sergeant Stubby, a dog, a Boston Bull Terrier is what they referred to him at the time, who was a pretty much a mutt, loose dog that hooked up with Private Conroy, and they managed to smuggle him all the way over to France. And when the CO found him, he was allowed to keep him because he taught the dog to salute. And he proved himself to be quite useful as not just a mascot, but just a war dog in general. They even gave him a little mask, a little protective mask. So the film is animated. It's good for kids to watch, and it's definitely an enjoyable film. So, by all means, if you want to watch something like that, that's a good one to watch.
It doesn't look as creepy as that Dogs one, right? Isle of Dogs?
No.
Because that just looks downright creepy.
I've heard that that's actually pretty good, but I have no interest in watching it.
Yeah, me neither. It's like, if your characters look creepy, then no. What was the other one that guy did? What was it? The Secret Life of Mr. Fox or whatever it was?
Oh.
I don't know. He's done another stop motion film that just the characters just look wrong. Just creepy. It's a creepy factor that's like, whoa. Not like Tim Burton creepy where it's kind of good. Like I'm talking creepy where it's just creepy.
Yeah, it's not creepy. The protagonist is definitely done in a very cute manner. Even behaves and sounds like a dog. They made sure that the dog does not actually quote unquote talk.
Cool.
Although they did make it more accessible so that kids could, get a understanding of World War I, but it's not terrifying or anything like that. Hell, you don't even see any blood. Even though there's, bullets flying everywhere. And they definitely show people getting wounded, but you don't see anybody die on screen or anything like that.
Now, is it 2D or 3D animation?
It is 3D animation.
Okay. Okay, I'm kind of confused now. Firefly, what did Ezra do that was taking a page from Joris Kaboth? Or Kaboth's?
I'm assuming taking over somebody's mind?
Like he did with the ATST pilot?
Like he did with an entire task force?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what Firefly can advise us on.
I mean, I know the spoilers are out there already, and hopefully none of us have actually seen them as to who dies and who doesn't in Infinity War.
I haven't been paying attention.
I have purposely avoided them.
Yes,
I have not.
You haven't avoided them purposefully?
I have not seen anything to that effect.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm still standing by my original Who's Gonna Bite It, and then there's I'm pretty sure by the end of the film that this is gonna have the Empire Strikes Back, the bad guy wins, and everybody gets turned to ash. And not the ash that just got canned, the other ash.
Oh, well, I was just about to say, they're all gonna have a chainsaw and go to S-Mark?
Oh no, because he got canceled and he ain't coming back to that character ever again.
Something must have gone downhill.
He put out an announcement a while ago that if Ash versus Evil Dead was canceled, he was retiring as Ash, and he put out a statement when it was canceled that he was following through on that.
And he did. It's
He's a
done.
man of his word.
There will be no more Give Me Some Sugar, Baby. I never watched the series. Was it any good?
I know most of the people that watched it liked it, but I don't know how many people actually watched it.
I think it's on Netflix. I thought I saw it.
Let's do a shades of Kevin Bacon thing here to segue into something that's recent news-ish. So we have Bruce Campbell. Played Odysseus in the Hercules and Xena franchise, which is great. God of War.
Yes.
God of War came out on Friday.
Yes.
A day where half the population was either stoned or playing God of War. And I have not played the game, but I have watched a complete playthrough of the story, and it's a nice callback to a day when games had complete stories and lasted more than 3 hours. Like, I'm pretty sure the story for God of War, if you took your time and weren't, you just huge, really good action RPG sort of player, could probably take you 20 to 30 hours to do. Plus all the side quests.
Side quests.
The subtitle for the game should seriously have been called Chill Kratos and Boy.
Chill Kratos and Boy.
Kratos is a lot more mellow than he has been in his previous outings. Like a whole lot more mellow. And his son, Atreus, is about 80% of the time referred to as Boy. Read this, boy. Boy to me! It's also a very interesting take on Norse mythology. The gods are not good people, or the Aesir are not good people. Thor is a douche.
Well, yeah.
Thor, yeah.
There's literally a story where a disciple of Thor dies. So his family erects a statue of Thor at the disciple's grave. Thor shows up to give condolences, but takes advantage of their hospitality, and when they ask him to leave, he kills their mother.
Yeah, because that doesn't ever turn out poorly.
But overall, story-wise, because I can't give a rating on gameplay, but story-wise, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's got some issues, but they're very few and far between. It is an amazingly done story. Chris Judge does a great job as Kratos. Whoever they got to do, Atreus, did a really good job. All the voice acting in it was amazing. Plus, you get to beat the shit out of Baldur.
I think the only video I watched from it was the comparison from the trailer back in 2015 to now. The visual quality, and they're like, it's amazing how 3 years can change something.
Yeah, and the opening part of the game is very similar to that initial trailer they showed, story-wise, but changed up enough that it doesn't feel like you're doing something you have seen before. Does anybody here care about spoilers?
No.
Alright, so it takes place an unknown amount of time after God of War 3, where he's traveled up into the Scandinavian area, which is simply referred to as Midgard, and he meets a woman called Freya. I'm sorry, not Freya. Faye, which is short for, and you'll probably get where this is going once I say what it's short for, La Faye.
Ice giants.
Well, giants in general.
French giants.
So they have a son that they name Atreus. Atreus, however, was not the name that Faye wanted to give the boy. His other name is, of course, Loki. So, in this version of Norse mythology, Loki is part Greek god and part giant.
I don't know what I was going to say. I went blank.
Part Greek god, part giant. All mistake.
He's actually
half
incredibly...
man, half god, half pig, half... Wait, what?
He's actually very compassionate and everything like that, and they tie it all into Norse mythology very well. Like, we know in Norse mythology, Jormungand is one of Loki's offspring, but Jormungand already exists in the God of War game. And it's explained when Jormungand says in his own language that Loki looks familiar, that another character explains that it's said that in Ragnarok, when Thor and Jormungand have their fight, that it's so devastating to the 9 realms that Jormungand actually gets launched backwards in time.
Ooh. Surprise.
Ragnar rocked your world.
There's a lot of great characters in it, you know, and a surprising lack of boobs. Like, the first 3 games had a lot of tits.
It did. And just had a lot of sex in general.
Refreshing.
Not going on in this one.
So you don't get to see Loki's conception.
No.
You're not part of it.
Honestly, there was a scene where Kratos is kind of like seeing visions of the past and everything, and I was expecting that to happen because it's a God of War game, but it didn't happen.
I mean, come on. One of the draws to the original game was that you had to fornicate, and you actually had to push buttons to do it.
Everything
Wait, that
happened
was a thing?
I can't remember if it was in 2, but at least in 1 and 3 there were mini games. One at the beginning of God of War 1 and another at the end, near the end of God of War 3, where Kratos has some side action, and there is a real-time response sequence that you have to do, and everything is pretty much happening just off screen, and all you get to see is like, at least in the first game, you see the edge of the bed, a table next to the bed, and a vase, and you have to knock the vase off the table.
Yes. I remember that vividly, and I was laughing my butt off. I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? X X X X Y Y. No. Actually, this would have been on PlayStation.
Half circle left.
It would have been circle, circle, square, 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 left, square, square. It's like, what am I doing? This isn't how you do this. You're doing it all wrong. It should be circle, circle, square, square, right, right, right.
But all in all, I very much enjoyed the story. It was very well done. Plus, seeing Kratos' growth as a character, witnessing Atreus' growth as a character, when he realizes what he is, and he suddenly, basically, he thinks he's a regular kid. He doesn't know that Kratos is a god, and so when aspects of his godhood start showing up, like he can tap into Spartan rage just like Kratos, it affects him because he doesn't know what's going on. And so
cool.
So he learns. Well, the interesting thing with Spartan rage in this game is previously you gain super strength and you just swung the swords real hard and everything like that. In this one, he puts away his weapon and just starts punching things. Also, epic beard, yes, Firefly.
Boys, stand back. I'm about to.
The original game was fun because it was a button mashing game. You literally could just mash the buttons and do horrific things in that game.
And you still can. But it's a lot more. And I'm sorry, I'm ending Strawberry Cheesecake.
That's fine.
It's a lot more action RPG now. And of course, you start off. You only have his an axe. You don't have his previous weapons, the Blades of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
You do acquire the Blades of Chaos partway through because he has to go to Hell again. Just a different one. He has to go to Hell to acquire something, and because everything there is frozen, the axe isn't going to do anything because it's a frost axe. So he basically has this moment with himself where he has to confront his past, and he actually overcomes Athena's grip on him as he reacquires the blades of chaos. There's this lovely moment where you see a vision of Athena, and she says, "You that he can never change what he is. That he will always be a monster." And he finally stands up and he says, "Yes, but I am your monster no longer."
Dun dun dun. Now this is a PlayStation only game, right?
It is a PlayStation only game, which is one of the reasons why I'm not going to get a chance to play it.
Yeah, me neither. I'm Xbox. I've got 2 Xboxes in the house now, so.
But the general person I go to for these sort of things, MK Ice and Fire, he's got a complete playthrough, as well as some of the side quests. Like there's an after main game side quest where you have to liberate the Valkyries because they've all been corrupted.
My mind, because of the fact this is God of War, every time you say something that has some kind of euphemism that could be thrown to it, my brain just goes in bad places. Like Athena's grip on him, I was like, oh.
In this particular case, they have been corrupted, and he liberates them by beating the shit out of them and killing them, and then freeing their spirits.
We're reading a thing.
Reading a thing?
Oh, yeah, because we all went silent at the same time when Wolfie posted a thing.
Yes, we did. Well, no, let's see. I'm trying to think of all the other euphemisms. You said, okay, Athena's grip, release the Valkyries. Yeah, it's just because it's God of War, you expect it. But I guess if they ease back on that aspect of it, it's kind of, I don't know. As long as you still get to kill things.
Yeah, but I honestly really recommend that you watch a playthrough if you can't play it yourself.
Well, speaking of playthroughs, didn't you do something recently with the DLC?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Unfortunately, I should have recorded it, and I didn't because I didn't realize it was only going to be for the weekend.
Didn't it terrify you?
Oh, it was freaky, man! Who would have thought that being hunted by Ewoks could be that freaky? Yes, over the weekend I played, I don't know, quite a few times. More, I actually was in there and there was a bunch of guys, and I put in the chat, I was like, why do I keep playing this when it frustrates me so? Because you got to play as a stormtrooper. You started off as a stormtrooper and you had to survive the 15 minutes. It's a 15-minute game. And you're stuck on Endor the night after the Battle of Endor, and you're waiting to be picked up by a shuttle. The first time I played, I survived it. I actually went and I got next to a torch so I could see all the way around me so nothing could sneak up on me, and I survived it. The second time I played, I died within the first minute. And it was like, oh, but then you respawn as an Ewok, and you have to go hunt them down. And it's weird because the first 2 times I played it, I didn't respawn as an Ewok. I just had to wait the game out and then go back when it restarted. And then all of a sudden I started playing as an Ewok, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Unlike the Stormtroopers, which it literally was pitch black. Your flashlight was your only source of light, and you only got the tiny little beam of light, and that's all you saw. And if you were smart, like one of the nights I played, the guys were all smart enough that it was more of nobody talked to each other, but we all huddled and created a circle. So there was light all the way around us, and we traveled this way, everybody making sure that someone took a look behind us to make sure, and everybody was looking up and looking around, and we survived that battle. But then when you got to an Ewok, they can see at night. So they had perfect vision at night. You could see everything. It was as if it was daylight. And, well, not daylight, but it was definitely brighter, and you could see all the stormtroopers and stuff. And it was really funny to walk up behind a stormtrooper that had no idea you were there and stab him in the back. Or throw the Wispies at him from the Ewok movies, and they would actually attack the stormtrooper, doing quite a bit of damage to the stormtrooper. And when they were done and he was fighting off the Wispies, you walked up and stabbed him in the back.
I did watch a video of that, and it actually is kind of terrifying because you'll hear the horn, and it's like, then it's getting louder. It's like, oh, geez, they're getting closer.
Yes. It was really freaky.
The video I saw, they actually almost made it off Endor. Died at the last minute.
Now
During
the
the evacuation.
yeah, I mean, I made it a few times, and I mean, it was fun once you do it. I mean, and once if you got in there with a group of guys that knew what they were doing, it's like I said, that group of guys I was with, we all huddled up almost instantly. We found each other, boom, and we were all huddled in, and everybody. I mean, there was lights flashing all over, so you could see in 360 degrees all around you. The problem with that is the Ewoks can hide in the trees, and they had the ability to go in and out of the trees and up into the Ewok village that you don't have. So you could be chasing one, and all of a sudden he would just disappear because he ran into one of the little huts. And next thing you know, he's above you throwing things at you. But I mean, it was a fun little DLC. I mean, I'm sad that they got rid of it so fast. I really wish they had let it go for the whole week and not just the weekend. But yeah, it was probably the most fun I've had playing Battlefront 2, aside from playing the story, which lasted, well, it was way too short. A good story. It made a lot of sense. It tied a lot of the loose ends between episodes. Actually, it ties up the loose ends between episodes 6 and 7, as well as episodes 7 and 8.
What happens in between? Honestly, Endor is kind of terrifying if you think about it.
What happened? Well, after the Battle of Endor and before the Battle of Jakku, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that you have to deal with as Iden, and basically just cleaning up the remnants of the Empire and doing stuff that way. But it's between episodes 7 and 8 that the story then carries on, where you play as Iden and her daughter. And you actually are the reason why the rebels or the resistance has the schematics for the dreadnought. Sorry, that was spoilers, but I mean, if you don't play the game.
Spoiled it for me, man.
But no, I mean, and I've only played it on the normal level. I haven't played it on the hard level yet, so I can go back and do that and get more points and stuff like that. But
Well, maybe it's one of those things that will come back. Kind of like Stowe and doing some of their game modes. Like, apparently coming this weekend, you get to do the Kobayashi Maru, which is still probably borked.
Bork.
Has been borked since it came out.
Bork.
So, a friend of mine who does not know he's about to be mentioned on the show, I'm not going to mention his name, but he just randomly sent me a message because he lives in the UK, so he's seen it already. And it's not spoilers, but he says there are not enough swear words for the Avengers movie. Everybody go and watch it. Just help. Emotions. Help.
Borked is in how in Terra does a ship which has lost all power move around? Well, there's that, and there's other issues going on with the Kobayashi Maru scenario. Speaking of Star Trek Online, though, we got other things coming out.
We do?
Oh yes, we got a whole new expansion coming out, probably in June.
I have not kept up with stuff, so what's going on?
All right, so here's the deal.
Victory is life.
Alistair said it first. Damn it.
We are dead. We go into this DLC to reclaim our lives.
And that pretty much sums it up right there. You're going to the Gamma Quadrant. And you're going to play as a new faction.
There's a picture that I need to find and throw up in the chat and onto the... that you'd actually just need to put up on the stream.
What, the Cardassian?
No. You'll see.
You can play as a Cardassian bridge officer, though. Or not.
Isn't there
Cardassian
also a thing they're doing to encourage people to make alts and stuff where you can level them up a lot faster and get account-wide unlocks?
Right now, yeah, the Delta event, yeah. Delta recruit.
And, I mean, sure, you probably should, but I don't want to do the Delta stuff again. So that's why I haven't done it. I haven't made a Delta recruit for Romulans and Klingons. One, I don't care for the Klingon story to begin with. And two, I just don't want to. I don't want to go to the Delta Quadrant again if I can avoid it.
I don't think I've logged into Stowe in 2 weeks.
So yeah, I mean they're doing all sorts of fun things. There's packs that are available now to pre-order. And, give you a bunch of ships and other little goodies that you can play with. But the fact that you can play, I think, as a Vorta or a Jemadar commanding officer for the Dominion, yeah, that should be a lot of fun.
Is that Garrick?
That is Garrick.
Yeah.
He's confirmed he's going to be in the new DLC, as is Odo and
Kira.
Yep, and Kira.
Jeffrey Combs is playing 2 characters.
Like he does.
We're getting more Martok. We're getting the female changeling
Chase Masterson's coming back.
to actually play actual Lita. We're also getting
Quark!
Walk, Rom, and Nog.
Just not the Cisco.
There's no captains. There's still no captains. Original captains. And I keep wondering, why is that?
Money.
Well, is it a case of it's money, or is it a case that they just don't want to detract from the fact that you are the captain? I don't think it would detract, but that's me.
Yeah, I think the only captain was Spock, right? Doing the voiceovers.
Yeah, technically he was a captain.
And Chris Pine never did anything for it, right?
No, he did not. Zachary Quinto supposedly did, but I never heard it. Supposed to have done it for the Federation tutorial, wasn't it?
Zachary Quinto was in the original Federation tutorial.
I think Doohan would have done it if he was alive.
Yeah, probably. His son does it.
And he was a captain.
But none of the actual quote-unquote captains. Oh, geez, Alistair, what is wrong with you?
Seriously, dude.
Hey, I needed to share it with you guys. Over here. It's not like they'll see it on the chat.
So
I am like this close to putting it up there.
So does that mean you have to do the music dun 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 as you're closing on?
Well, to be fair, following podcast is intended for mature audiences.
Whether we actually have mature audiences or not is another matter. Because we clearly are not. Spock, it's time to beam me away. That's just so wrong, though. I feel that Firefly is going to be deprived if we don't.
Dun dun dun. Seriously, what is wrong with you?
If your last name's Decker, you don't want this.
Did you put it up on stream? Yes, you did.
This thing will be the death of you if your last name's Decker.
I'm going to give it a Decker.
Wow.
Firefly. Fascinating. Fitting response.
I swear, we are full-grown adults.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, you might be alone in that one.
Wow, that is like the most chat that I have seen in a long time in here. It's awesome.
What, in Twitch?
Yeah, just back and forth, back and forth. It's all good. That and the fact that Firefly, I can see Firefly as he's typing in real time without having to go back and forth. It's all good. Oh man.
And apparently there was a correction. You can only play as Jemadar. I'm kind of
And
hoping
Jemadar
though
Vanguard.
yeah, I'm kind of hoping though that we'll get actual Cardassian bridge officers to be available. Granted, I mean I have to redo my alien Cardassian bridge officer again, but I'd totally do it.
The Vicodin is wearing off. Feels like somebody punched me in the face.
I'm getting tired of waiting. I'm sorry.
What?
That's just a reference.
Vicodin is really good for the first half hour. I'm pretty sure I could take a couple of bullets and wouldn't feel them.
Yeah, but after that half hour is over.
Yeah. But yeah, that first half hour is awesome.
This is more information about Adam that you did not want to know, but now you do. And it's recorded, so it's held for posterity.
It is a legally prescribed,
held for posterity.
Yes, legally prescribed narcotic that I am taking because I had dental surgery.
Drugs.
Wisdom teeth.
Yeah, it's never
Yeah.
fucking wisdom teeth taken out.
No, it wasn't just the wisdom tooth, it was the tooth next to it that had destroyed because it was coming in sideways.
Yeah, I always thought you were a little crooked.
Yes, it was crooked. Not as crooked as a doomsday fleshlight, but it's crooked.
It's going back a little bit to DC film stuff.
Go ahead.
Did you ever see Batman Gotham by Gaslight?
Yes, I did.
That was really good. The twist was fun.
Yeah. I find it to be lackluster. I mean, it was kind of for the Disney animated movies. It was not in their top 5. They've had better.
The Disney?
Not Disney, DC. Sorry, the DC.
No, I enjoyed the whole time period though, and I believe I read that they actually combined elements of both books because there was 2 of them in order to make this. There was some of the animation quality was a little off, like the fire was a bit. Really, that's the best you could do. But story-wise, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
It wasn't bad. It was. I mean, it was a fun little film. I mean, a little predictable here and there, but the ending, like you said, the twist was good. But again, I mean, there are other of the DC animated films that I have enjoyed much more for adaptations of books. I actually liked The Killing Joke. I know a lot of people didn't like The Killing Joke. I thought The Killing Joke was well done. And the Dark Knight one, that was incredible. They did a good job with that one. But I mean, DC has always been pretty on point when it comes to their animated films, right from the get-go. I mean, if you go all the way back to like the Mask of the Phantasm and just go from there, they have very rarely stumbled when it came to the animated films. Unlike Marvel, that their animated films are horrendous.
They're pretty hit or miss, yeah.
Yeah, the Rise of the Technovore, the Iron Man one, the anime one. Then they've got that the Punisher, Black Widow one.
The Punisher, Black Widow one wasn't bad.
The
animation was good.
Yeah, my kids like the CG ones, the Iron Man Hulk and the Iron Man Captain America ones. Those are pretty good. Those aren't bad.
I thought they were weak personally.
But for what they are, I mean, they're very much geared towards kids, obviously.
Yeah.
And the Ultimate ones, I think the 2 Ultimate Avengers cartoons, the second one was better than the first for Marvel's, but again, Marvel's, I mean, didn't they do a Blade one, a Blade anime series?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a Blade live action series.
Yeah. Yeah,
there
live
was a
action
Wolverine animated anime series, and that I've got like a few episodes of that. I'm like,
yeah.
Glad I missed the rest of it.
I mean, Marvel owns the live action films. When it comes to the animated ones, DC has that by far. Actually, in everything but the cinematic universes, DC by the numbers has outdone Marvel.
Yeah, but because Marvel's crushing on the cinematic side of things, they can be like, we don't care.
True. And you know what? That's fine. I mean, yeah, I mean, Marvel's films have grossed over $2 billion, $5 billion, whatever it is. Monstrous amount of money. Whereas DC's have made money, they're just not as good movies. I will honestly say that. I enjoy the DC films. I don't mind. I mean, it's just I'm not looking for, like, I don't know. I don't, when I watch these movies, I'm not looking for anything but to be entertained, and they entertain me.
There's a pun that a player on Stowe needs to be stuck in the punishment room for. He named his ship the
Sunderday.
Yes.
I'm not mad.
You know, Tade would probably appreciate that and be annoyed that he didn't think of it first.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to let him know.
Yeah, gonna have to let him know.
Why am I missing that?
Sundry is or Sandre is it's an anime thing.
Oh, okay. You know, for the first time though, I'm actually I'm looking at the Daredevils, and I was like, huh, if you were to do the first half of it from you could have the from under Daredevils.
Oh man, to the punishment room you go.
Yes,
Plethora.
there's a word that doesn't get used enough. Plethora.
Yeah, but you can't use that in your Romulan ship name.
No. Albeit it's another word that, yeah. More people.
Plethorex.
Plethora that they did it.
Nah, just Plethorex. That's the one you take to your carrier.
You know what? We do need Rian Johnson to go back and remake the Ewok films, now that I'm thinking about it.
Just let him go, man.
Well, I love the Ewok movies. It's a nostalgia thing. They are so bad, but I love them. Even with Wilford Brimley.
Do you really think Wilford Brimley understood what was going on when he was?
I don't think
making
he
that
had
movie?
a clue. I honestly don't think he had a clue. I think he was just there for the paycheck.
Oh, I believe that the first wave of 3D printed Stowe ships is...
Yes, and I don't have those. Where are those? I will have to bring that up. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know if they're actually in the wild yet, if they've been finished, but apparently they're in the hand-painted stage for a lot of them. I know.
No, they're in the wild.
I was gonna say, I know that we got one guy that's, in the Legion 575 that he was told his was being hand-painted. So they're not wasting any time getting them made. Also, apparently they are actually printed in Europe. I think that's what somebody said.
Are they printed in Europe?
I believe that's where somebody found that it was actually printed in, like, Poland and shipped over, over to the U.S., which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, if that's the case. Yeah, I mean, those models, that model looks really good.
And it's really cool that it's the Sojourner class, and that is visual. I mean, that is what I had envisioned originally for what it would look like, the saucer and stuff.
For the Enterprise F.
Yes. I'm loving that the ads are showing up on here because ad block doesn't work on the next split. It doesn't look bad. If this is hand painted, this is actually really, really good.
Yeah, I want one. I just wish it wasn't $300+.
Yeah, I love the fact that they painted in the highlight where the light would be for the registry.
Yeah. And it's very sharply done.
Yes. If this is what a final looks like, yeah, I would say it's worth not $300, but it's worth a pretty penny because that's hand painted. My God, that's a pretty ship.
It's a very pretty model. And think about it. If you got one of those, you can put that right next to your Corellian Corvette, and they'd be about the same size.
Yep. Or I could put it right next to my Eagle Moss Enterprise F when that comes out.
Which is still not on their website.
Well, no, it won't be. Not yet. It won't be available to even come close to purchasing until later this year.
Uh-oh.
What?
Firefly is mentioning something. Alistair, you're going to have to explain this a bit. Arpeggio-style mental models are pretty possible in Trek, and some of that in our fan writings. Now, for more fun and games, imagine one of those taking a sharp turn into, I'm assuming it's Yandere territory? Yandri? I don't know how you pronounce it.
Not a clue.
Apparently, Alistair's not in. The Alistair we were attempting to reach is not available.
In today's show, the part of Alistair will be played by a tall, dark, and sinister man.
Ha! Fooled you all along. It was Tade the entire time.
Speaking of Aladdin, I'm guessing at the CinemaCon or whatever it is that they Disney unveiled images from the 4 live-action animation reboot things that they've got coming up. Aladdin, Lion King, Mulan, and can't remember the last one was.
Mulan's still getting pretty hammered.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, I didn't realize CinemaCon was going on. I didn't know CinemaCon was a thing. There are a whole lot of things. I guess the Halloween trailer got shown there, and what was the other one? There was another trailer that people were losing their minds over. I know for the Halloween trailer, people were describing Jamie Lee Curtis's character in this film, this version of her character, as Sarah Connor, that she's been preparing for Michael's return all these years, and she's gone all Sarah Connor. Dun, 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 dun.
The return of Sarah Connor.
I forgot about True Lies too. True Lies was a good movie.
It was.
Again, a little cliche, but it was good.
Oh, little? Dig it more than just a little cliche.
Had a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I remember we actually watched that in a political science class about politics and cinema, and the fact that it's how ridiculous it is, and like what messages it actually sending. And it was a good class for that, because you're seeing some of the things that, you know, as a regular moviegoer, you don't think about. But when you actually, you know, put some thought to it, it's like, yeah, it's actually sending some interesting messages. Like for the fact that, regardless of what Jamie Lee Curtis does, she drops an Uzi and manages to kill all the bad guys because she's the American and she can.
Well, yeah. That, and we all know that Uzis have hair triggers that react when they bounce off of stairs.
And manages not to send a single bullet towards her.
Yes. It only fired on the downswing.
And the enemies happen to be right in line with that. Funny how that happens.
I mean, especially since it's a spray and pray weapon to begin with. Why there are sights on an Uzi, I will never understand.
Because technically speaking, you can aim with it. I've never fired an Uzi, but
Spray and pray, buddy. Spray and pray.
well, you got to keep in mind what it was originally made for.
Yeah. Urban warfare.
made for like room clearing and such.
Yeah.
It's really good at that.
Short
Oh,
little
there he
barrel.
is.
Yeah, short little barrel and
Sorry, I went to type "be right back" in the chat, but stupid me forgot that he had just sent the Sun to Daradex thing to Tade, so I actually told Tade "be right back."
So Tate's probably confused
Well, Tade wasn't online, so I managed to delete it, so he's not going to know.
until he watches this. If he watches this.
Dun, 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 dun. So what was I being directed questions towards or something?
Yes, but it doesn't matter because Firefly dropped a TV Tropes link, but you can't read those very long because now they charge money.
what?
If you go to TV Tropes, it's like you can watch. You've gone to one page. You can go to X number more pages before something. I didn't pay any attention because I
Or
try
you
to
have
avoid
to
TV Tropes regardless.
or you have to whitelist them.
I don't even know how to do that.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
You have to whitelist them on ad blocker, basically.
Yeah, wait, but they're in .org. How can you have a .org and yet run advertising like that?
Because they still need to make money to pay for.
I guess, yeah.
They want to remain free for all their users, and the ads are how they do that.
Oh,
Funny, you don't have to do that for Wikipedia though.
And
Wikipedia runs a donation thing every now and then.
I can't remember the name of it, but there was this anime series that someone had sent me that I watched that is quite literally the definition of yandere, where like it had like 3 different endings, and each one involved one of the characters just becoming a psychopathic killer. I distinctly recall it because it was painful to watch, because there was literally a scene where a girl grabs a knife, places the handle against the wall, blade out, and she starts headbutting it.
go ahead. Pretty sure you'd get maybe 1 or 2 headbutts into that before you would just stop.
Well, she got maybe like 12.
It is anime.
True.
No, it was not School Days. School Days was... I have not actually seen School Days. I'm aware of School Days, but I have not seen it.
High School of the Dead.
No. School
No.
Days is one of those
No,
animes that looks like it'd be a nice outing to watch, and then no.
No, High School of the Dead only has one redeeming factor. It's the bullet placed perfectly between 2 flopping breasts.
It's a little ridiculous, but then again, it is always been over the top.
Jiggle physics.
Right. So that's a thing.
Yes.
Oh, there's a whole game about this. That's right.
Yandere Simulator.
Yeah, that simulator. It's you're actually playing a character that's trying to, be insane but not get caught in the process. If I remember right.
It's a little weird.
It is a little weird.
It's also banned on Twitch for some reason.
It was what?
It's banned on Twitch. Despite the fact that you can't do anything in that game that you can't do in a bunch of other things. Higurashi, by the way, was the anime. Higurashi When They Cry. That, yeah, okay. Yeah, I've looked up pictures and now I'm having nightmares again. I'm stopping.
Mistakes were just made.
Thunder Kick is Thunder out.
Game over, man. Game over.
Game over.
Speaking of games,
I was going to say, speaking of aliens, because that popped up on the radar the other day.
there's an Aliens comic that just came out today.
The what?
An Aliens comic.
Oh. I was going to talk more about the guy, what's his name? Who directed it? Ridley Scott. He keeps reiterating that for the Alien franchise to grow, it must leave the xenomorphs behind.
Leave the past behind. Kill it if you have to.
Dude, the whole idea of the xenomorph is why Aliens is as popular as it is.
Because you can't really leave them behind.
The reason it's
the
called
film
Aliens.
Yeah, the film's about them.
That's like saying, well, for the Terminator franchise to move forward, we have to leave the Terminators behind. Dun 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 dun.
Yes. Dun dun dun.
What do we got now? We got puppies with laser beams.
We got sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
Just puppies. And giant blue people. Yeah, it's I think what they should have done is they just should have let what's his name? Now I can't remember. The guy who did District 9.
I still never saw that. I really need to see it, I think.
It's a pretty good film. I actually enjoyed it.
Great props.
Yes, great props. And I mean it had it had an original-esque story to it, which was pretty cool. Which was, I mean, it was refreshing because in a world of reboots and rehashes, we had this movie that came out, and it was like, wow, that was actually pretty original. I liked it. But that guy wanted to do another Aliens movie, and then Ridley Scott jumped in and said, "Oh no! I got to do my Prometheus and my Alien Covenant," and they nixed his Alien film. And he had a lot of stuff done for this movie already, pre-production wise, some really cool ideas, and they just nixed it completely because Ridley Scott jumped in.
I like the image that you just posted there, Alistair.
I figured.
I am Parakeet of Borg.
Funny thing is, he's actually on the one of the Micro Machines ones. Fairly confident. I can't quite tell, but it's either Micro Machine one or some WizKids one.
Yeah.
But
Apparently,
it's correct for the size of them.
Apparently, the Lovebird's actual name is 7 of 9.
That's not a lovebird.
That's a parakeet.
This is the person who says it's a lovebird who posted the picture and said they made it. Called it a lovebird. They may not know anything about birds.
Obviously not. It's probably the most common house bird.
The risk I took was calculated. Man, I'm bad at math. Yeah, that's not a lovebird.
Lovebirds technically are a small genus of parrot.
Sure, but so are parakeets and parrotlets and Quaker parrots. I mean, there's a lot. I'm fairly confident that's not a lovebird, but
I'll tell you what, ain't nothing better for breakfast than Quaker parrots.
I think there are lovebirds that color.
There are, different colored lovebirds, but I don't recall the WizKids, if that is the WizKids one, being that big.
That's a budgie, though, right?
I'm fairly confident it's a budgie, but whatever. We are not bird experts.
Lovebirds aren't very big.
They're bigger than a parakeet.
You know what?
They're just slightly smaller than a Quaker parrot.
We're such geeks. We're arguing over a bird.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's a Borg cube.
Too bad I can't alter the direction in which that picture is facing, because I could then flip the bird.
I see what you did there.
So, I don't know why we haven't talked about this yet, but BattleTech.
What about it?
It's out.
It's out.
Also, Harmony Gold got bench slapped, which is my new favorite term that I've learned from Leonard Church.
Bench slapped.
When
the judge slaps you down hard.
Yeah.
That's an art.
Basically, the case of Harmony Gold versus Harebrained Schemes and everybody involved with the BattleTech game, including one of the original BattleTech guys, was dismissed with prejudice, meaning they cannot bring a similar case up against Harebrained Schemes again.
And they use dirty words to say it. I always found that funny, with prejudice.
No, we don't mean prejudiced. I made the same mistake.
I know.
But I watched a couple of guys play it earlier today, and it looks really, really fun because it's not simply just mech combat and everything. It's not load up a mission, fight the mission, and win. It's you load up the mission, you have to fight the mission and win, but you also have to take care that your units don't take too much damage or get incapacitated. Because if, let's say, one of the mechs loses an arm, it's going to be out of the fight for several days, and it's going to cost money that you don't probably have to fix it because you're in debt. And or one of the mechs gets taken out. Oh, your pilot's been incapacitated for 2 months, so you're now down a mech.
We seem to have picked up another bot.
We do that from time to time. You just ignore them.
Now we have
It's the same one.
electrical skateboard and electrical longboard.
I feel that those should actually be kicked, in all honesty.
No, you don't. Just don't give them recognition.
Ignore the bots. Yeah, until they start spamming or anything, I'm not going to worry about them. Dun dun dun. Bench slapped. I like that.
Dun, 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 dun. I actually didn't pick it up from his talking about this particular case. I picked it up when he was talking about the case with the monkey and ownership of it. Oh, sorry, the macaque and the ownership of its selfie and stuff like that. And the title
the macaque didn't have standing to sue or something.
Yeah, the PETA was suing on their behalf, essentially. And the title of the video was PETA bench slapped over monkey. If you are anyway at all interested in like copyright law and stuff like that, you really should go watch Leonard French's YouTube. He's very entertaining, and he wears silly hats.
Oh, you know what? Just because we haven't talked about anything in the fan world, and since you mentioned bench slapped and lawsuits and stuff, and I know that I have claimed that the Geek EZ is always or should be an Axanar-free zone, but this ties in line with what Axanar started, because Axanar got sued by CBS, and they came to a settlement. Even though the judge had already decreed that what the lawsuit was about was good enough to go forward, they settled. It was all done. There was no clear winner in the case, but CBS's case did seem to have enough legs that the judge was going to let it go through. Neither here nor there. Let's see. Star Trek Temporal Anomaly, which is another fan film that Samuel Cockings over at Trek Yards had actually produced, had some issues. I guess that CBS, he had used some footage from the shows in his trailer and or maybe possibly the film as well, and CBS came knocking on his door and told him he had to stop. I don't know what the particulars were. I haven't talked to Sam in a while. I haven't talked to Sam since I did the interview with them over on Trek Yards for the Enterprise F. But I'm guessing that an agreement has been resolved, or the dispute has been resolved, and that Samuel Cockings, with I guess some alterations to his fan film, will be allowed to let it be produced. Now he's been working on this thing for a long time, so hey, more power to you, Sam. Glad that CBS didn't sue your butt too. I don't know. I just thought, I was like, hey, it's kind of cool, because I know a lot of people have come down on CBS. You're the only ones that ever sued a fan film. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, well, not true. And it just goes to show that they do police their IP, and that is their right to police it how they see fit. And if they feel that something is infringing in a way that they are either going to lose money and or could possibly cause brand confusion, then they step in. And they did. And they resolved it, and he will be allowed to release his film, and that's all good.
I believe he has to release an edited version.
Yes.
Although there's some discussion saying that he intends to release an unedited version to his donors, but he claims that he's talked to. I don't know like all the details about that part.
Now, I haven't seen anything. It's funny. I haven't got anything from Trek Yards or anything on my Facebook feed in a while. I don't know why. But, I mean, it's like I said, I mean, it's all good. You know what? They're out there. They're doing their thing. And I mean, like I said, he's been working on this for a while. He's been talking about this for quite some time. But, hey. It's like I said, I mean, it's kind of cool because good fan films are hard to find here and there. Now, I'm going to post one on the Geek EZ Facebook page that hopefully will get over to Twitch as well. That's probably one of the funniest I've ever seen by some kid that just created a fan film, and
They created like 3 episodes, I think.
they're freaking hilarious. It's just one kid with a really bad green screen and some rudimentary 3D models, and it's just the comedic timing and the way he does things is actually pretty good. I'll post them up there. I can't remember what the name of it. Wolf, you remember what the name of it was?
Misadventures of something? I don't remember.
It's still pretty funny. I'll see if I can find it. Let's see. Keep talking amongst yourselves.
Blah, 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 blah.
Well,
Rebel.
another
Rebel,
interesting
rebel,
games.
rebel.
Another interesting games. Frostpunk is out.
Yeah, I've actually intend to watch a video of that later after the show.
It's kind of a clever take on the old deal. You're literally trying to keep your village, your colony, whatever, alive. If using a single reactor to heat up homes and whatnot, and you keep growing from that. It's kind of clever, actually.
Mm.
I just dropped the link into the Twitch chat for that little. I mean, it's only a couple of minutes long, but it's pretty funny.
Star Trek: The Continuing Misadventure.
Yes. We don't have to watch it right now.
They already have DLC for BattleTech.
DLC.
Really? Store. To the Steam!
Yeah, BattleTech Digital Deluxe content. You can buy BattleTech for $40. You can buy the Digital Deluxe Edition for $50.
Dun dun dun.
What is the
I bet you
deluxe for?
Like I say, I bet you the Deluxe Edition actually includes the DLC.
No, the Deluxe Edition includes an art book, an avatar and icon for the Paradox Interactive forums, 4K wallpapers, and the soundtrack.
For $10 more.
For $10 more.
Or you
Buy
can buy the regular game, and then you can buy the DLC for the exact same stuff. Art book, soundtrack, forum avatar, wallpapers.
Yeah, basically the DLC thing for it is basically if someone buys BattleTech and then later on wants to get all that extra content.
What more?
I need more. Feed me.
Feed me, Seymour, feed me.
Feed me, Seymour.
I should probably acquire this. Plug-in device, guys.
What device?
It's, just making sure, because we've had some interesting conversations tonight.
Like, my brain didn't go there until you decided to clarify.
You guys have been going there anyway, and it's like, the one time you don't go there, I put you there. What the hell?
Gutter.
So what are you going to dust off your joystick for?
Giggly.
Play some
Do you
BattleTech.
finally have a date?
BattleTech is not a joystick game. It's an RTS. Or actually, it's a TTS. MechWarrior Online.
TT.
You have to refresh your TTS?
TBS, sorry.
You weren't here for that, Alistair.
No.
No.
It's a turn-based strategy game, so you wouldn't need a joystick. It's mouse keyboard.
In a way, it's kind of sad. Although I wish we'd had Mech Commander. But if this is like that, I'll accept it.
Doesn't mean you can't dust off your joystick, though.
I like how recent updates, if the actual update for today, the news is the title for it is Reactor Online, Sensors Online, Weapons Online, All Systems Nominal.
I like the word nominal. Don't know why. It's just one of those cool words. All systems nominal. As we just go to dead air again. Are we running out of things to talk about?
No, I just logged out from updating because Steam's like, is this your email? Yes, it's still my email. We need you to go to your email address and verify. You can't do that through the phone. I got to actually go over here. Oh, stupid. And then was seeing the headlines that are currently out, and it's like, suspected California serial killer identified as former police officer.
Ruh-roh.
Well, okay then.
Yeah,
That took a turn.
We are going to uphold the law. I kill you.
Kill you.
Apparently, oh yeah, and Burrito talked about this elsewhere. Ford to stop selling every car in North America but the Mustang and Focus Active, which is some kind of crossover thing. That's something that they announced. That's a legit thing.
So they're not going to sell just cars, or
trucks is their thing. Trucks and that the Focus crossover doodad thing.
oh, boy, okay.
I
didn't
thought
realize.
the Fusion was doing well. The Focus isn't a bad car.
I actually have, and you know what? I know they look silly, but I test drove a Flex, and those things are actually really, really nice on the road. A bit boxy. I don't know if they make them anymore, but the one I test drove was really nice.
Yeah, 90% of their sales are in trucks, utilities, and commercial vehicles. Because everyone wants to buy a truck. Oh, gas is cheap, blah, blah, blah. The Taurus will be no more. The Focus will be no more. The Fusion will be no more.
But I thought they were really pushing the Taurus police car.
I don't know.
Just because they're not going to sell it to the civilian market doesn't mean they won't sell it to
True.
the public market.
So they're keeping them. We'll go ahead.
Apparently, what they're saying is, according to their latest financial release, they're transitioned to 2 vehicles. And that's it.
The Mustang and the what?
The Mustang and the Focus Active.
Which is like a mini crossover.
Everything else, car-wise anyways, goes away.
Apparently they lose money on the Focus, Fiesta, and Fusion.
Well, the Fiesta is a joke.
Focus is okay, although apparently it's got an issue with the transmission.
And I know people who have the Fusion, and they don't mind the car.
I've driven a Fusion. It's all right.
I mean, I haven't. I mean, my wife has a Toyota. I have a Volkswagen. So, I mean, I haven't driven a domestic car in close to a decade. I love my wife's Toyota. My next vehicle will be the brother car to that.
Corolla?
No, she's got a what is it? The truck, the Highlander.
There can be only one.
Yes.
You should,
But
if you get one, you should definitely get like a decal of a sword with
Yes.
the phrase on it. There can be only one.
Or just get a vanity plate. Call it McLeod.
You're like me, I have a Sonic the Hedgehog decal under
Connor or Duncan?
my Sonic. I'm actually looking for a decal that says "and Knuckles."
Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
How many McLeods do you need in your name? I need more.
Boy, there is a franchise that just totally toileted itself.
It should never have been a franchise. It was only supposed to be one, and that's the way it's always been a mess. Because, people really like this. Let's make another film.
Well, and at some point, Connor and Duncan are going to have to fight each other.
Yes. Yeah, they did. They did it in, what was it, the final something or other. And he had to behead Connor. Go ahead.
Isn't that one? I think that's one of the bad ones I pretend doesn't exist.
Yes. And it's got like 4 different versions out there. And I've seen 3 of them, and every time I was like, wait a second, I remember this scene. What the heck am I watching?
They also reused some of the fight sequences a few times. Like, the bad guy's about to defeat him. Wait. Do a bad Photoshop image of Connor over his face. Then let's reuse that same fight sequence we just did.
Yeah, the first one, classic. Second one, we don't talk about the second one.
Never happened.
And the third one, they tried to retcon the second one into never happening, and it just got really bad from there. And then they tried to do an animated series, which made no sense to me. How do you make an animated series about characters that have to behead each other?
It was completely unrelated. It's bizarre. It took place in some like post-apocalyptic wasteland type thing.
Don't understand why they got a Belgian to play a Scot and a Scot to play an Egyptian.
Because reasons.
And never forget, the Kurgan is also Mr. Krabs.
Other things that were turned into cartoons that probably shouldn't have been. Conan, the Adventurer. RoboCop. Rambo. But Conan the Adventurer, I do remember watching that, and it worked, but at the same time, you're just like, huh?
I don't think that was tied to the movie, though. It was more based on the books.
It's kind of its own thing and kind of not.
Yeah.
But I believe the rights are more tied to the books than they are the movie.
And I know the RoboCop cartoon was more tied to the RoboCop television series that was produced in Canada. And even then, it was still its own little thing. But it was like, hey, we got this rated R franchise that everybody loves. Let's make a cartoon out of it. And the Rambo one, it was just G.I. Joe light.
And Rambo is not something that should ever have been made into a cartoon.
No. Which I am very glad that Stallone came back and said, no, Rambo is this. And then he shredded people with a 50 cal.
No.
There was that weird Police Academy cartoon.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. I mean, Ghostbusters worked as a cartoon. It was all good.
Yeah, it was kind of its own thing.
Men in Black worked good as a cartoon.
Wasn't there a Toxic Crusader cartoon?
Yes, there was.
Unfortunately. You didn't think the Men in Black cartoon was good? I thought it was good.
I didn't see enough of it to get a real good feel for it, so I'm just mad about it.
I enjoyed the Men in Black cartoon for the most part.
I think I enjoyed that studio. The studio that did that, they also did the Batman, and they did, I think they were the ones that did the Ghostbusters cartoon as well.
Ghostbusters Extreme!
Their animation style they just had a bunch of really good animators and background artists and stuff. It was just the stylization of it. I enjoyed it.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I didn't mind the cartoon itself. I mean, I loved the Batman cartoon. It took me a while to warm up to it, but by the 3rd season, I was hooked. Had a good soundtrack too.
Yeah, again, it was just cartoons that probably shouldn't have been made. I mean, Rambo, RoboCop, Conan, Highlander. But I wish they had finished Pirates of Dark Water.
That just ended, didn't it?
Yeah, they just ended it without finishing it off.
Well, at least one cartoon that finished or ended with it not finishing. It's coming back to finish, hopefully. We will
Well-
get to see Titans very soon, or Young Justice, it is.
Well, we did get a closing of Samurai Jack.
Yes.
Speaking of cartoons, I guess the new season of Archer is another, oh, he's still in a coma fantasy season.
Really?
Yeah, now he's like a pilot on some Pacific island right before World War II or something. I believe this season is Archer Danger Island.
Nazis, Llama. This is how you get Nazis. Do you want Nazis?
Apparently, we've gotten Nazis anyway, but that's neither here nor there.
Now, you know what's funny? As much as I love Archer, I think I like Bob's Burgers better.
The problem with Archer has been since the move to FXX, it's just hard to find.
Yeah, it's sporadic. They either do like a block where it's like the entire day of Archer, and then you never know when it's going to show up again.
Well, I think the FXX thing has been a problem for a lot of the shows FX had that were successful. Because the League, I think, only lasted a season or two on FXX. I mean, It's Always Sunny didn't even really survive the transition all that well.
I must be like one of the few people on this planet that never found It's Sunny to be funny.
I have never found it funny.
I
don't
love
care
it.
for
It's dirty, nasty Seinfeld.
Dirty, nasty Seinfeld.
It's terrible. It's just a terrible show.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's definitely not a show for me. There's people who've looked at me like, how could you not like it? Quite easily, I don't.
Oh, I could definitely see that show not being for a lot of people, but I think it's funny.
And by all means,
Oh.
it's great. If you get entertainment out of it, then it wins for you. That's just definitely not me. Firefly, wait, stop. It's FXX now? And if so, is FXXX their answer to Showtime?
No, there's FX and there's FXX.
It's the extra channel.
Yeah, he just added another X to Showtime.
Yes, you got to pay extra for that.
FX is dominated by what, like the Americans, and then what is that horror sort of anthology series they do?
American Horror Story.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't they have The Sinner too? Isn't that on there, or is that USA?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with FX in years. About the only time I watch FX is they'll do, like, it seems like once every other week or something, they'll do like an all-day Simpsons marathon. And if they're showing older episodes, I'll watch it. Like I caught Homer at the Bat the other week. Oh, I love that episode.
Why do they call this the urine monkey? Oh. No. Simpsons hasn't been funny in years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I only watch like the old stuff. Like Homer at the Bat is an old episode.
Yes. So is Bart the Daredevil? Or Daredevil Bart?
Supposedly, the newer season has been okay because they kind of shifted from focusing on Bart and Lisa to Homer and Marge.
That's good. Nah, the Bart the Daredevil, the one where Homer is going to jump.
Oh, you mean where Bart's going to
Canyon?
jump Springfield
Yeah.
Gorge?
Where he's going to jump Springfield Gorge, but the beginning of that episode, where the Daredevil jumps the thing full of piranhas, sharks, and for good measure they throw in a lion, and he jumps it, gets to the other side, and then proceeds to fall into it. And that's funny enough, and it's ha funny, and you're laughing at it. But when he's trying to climb out, the lion jumps up and pulls him back in. That is the epitome. It was like the timing was so perfect on it that I laugh out loud every time I see it, even though I know it's coming. So is South Park still on the air?
Yes.
I have not watched South Park in years.
I'll catch an episode now and then, but it's a long time since I've sat down like intentionally to watch it.
Yeah, I don't watch. I mean, I don't. It's if I catch anything, it's usually on an Adult Swim's Monday recap kind of thing of the Fox cartoons. And even then, they stopped doing that. So I just Bob's Burgers, man. It's the only one I really watch. I mean, I gave up on Family Guy. I'll catch it when I can. American Dad and all those, but no, Bob's Burgers is just it's just a very well written show. And it's got a lot of fart jokes. So
The
I like
Amazing World of Gumball is actually fairly entertaining.
yeah. There are times where it just goes off the wall and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, sure, not going to deny that.
Gone are the days of Ren and Stimpy.
Actually, it's probably just as well. It was pretty disgusting.
The original was good. Not the redo, what they did on Spike or whatever it was.
The original was pretty disgusting, man.
It was. But it was disgusting in a way that made you laugh.
Sometimes
It was
cringed.
cringeworthy at times. Not as much as the reboot that they did.
I miss the original Dexter's Lab, not
Oh, man.
the cruddy comeback season, but the original.
Edie, what are you doing in my lab?
Dial
Get off the
M for
Malibu.
monkey.
Hey, it's been 2 hours. We need to call last call. Anything? Anybody got anything?
I have a bad idea that I will eventually probably go through with. Have you ever heard of a game called Blood Bowl?
No.
Yes.
I know Alistair's heard it, so he does not need to voice his opinions if he does not wish. Because I always have bad ideas.
Hotball!
No, it's not the same. For the love of God, stop comparing. Anyway, the idea was Blood Bowl is basically where, no, it's not, is basically taking fantasy creatures and you're playing football, only it's ridiculously over the top. Like, amazingly ridiculously over the top. I mean, you have orc teams facing off against human teams or dwarf teams or gnome, etc., etc., etc. And just to show you how ridiculous it can be, let me show you a model that you can get for the game. It's called a dwarf death roller. That's a thing that you can use as a secret weapon.
Ah,
He's so happy. Anyway, because it's Games Workshop, you still have to build and paint the models before you can play the game, which I think is kind of lame, but it is what it is. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. Replace the Games Workshop models, though, with Star Wars models and do Star Wars football. And here's why it's not Hutball. You have to play it as football. Actual football. Hutball doesn't do that. There are some ridiculous moves you can do where, you can take a guy and who's holding the ball and throw him in Blood Bowl so as to count that as a pass, and then he can run, a few more spots because it's a board game. But you still play it like football. Again, just over the top. Now, just imagine, though, you're playing as the Imperials versus Rebels. Darth Vader's your captain. You got hecklers up in the audience. People watching in the stands. He just turns and he force chokes them. Because that's a thing you can do in Blood Bowl. You can kill your audience.
It's always a good thing you want to do.
Or, he can put out a hit on a player on the opposing team, and Boba Fett suddenly pops up, fires a missile, kills him. Blood Bowl in and of itself is just ridiculous and highly entertaining. I don't see why you can't do the same thing with Star Wars. Which probably means I'll have to buy, Star Wars Legion models and do a transition someday. But it ain't going to happen today, because Legion is unpainted models, too. That's going to be a while, but that is my bad idea. And my last call.
My last call. My last call would be head out there onto the interwebs, and I know floating around a few places is the trailer for the final chapter in the Transformers Prime Wars trilogy, Power of the Primes, where I'm guessing they've introduced a lot more characters and some pretty good voices. We got Ron Perlman, Samoa Joe from the WWE. Let's see. Will Wheaton's coming back as Perceptor.
Wheaton!
Mark Hamill is Megatronus. Judd Nelson is now voicing Rodimus Kron. I don't know who that is, so we'll see. And yeah,
Probably a time traveler.
no, because I know Rodimus gave up the Matrix in the last series, much to Optimus Prime's chagrin. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. The first trilogy was like pulling teeth. It was so horrendously done. The second one got a little bit better. It was still kind of slow and plotting. So hopefully they'll get a little better with this one. And I guess this time around, they are. It's going to be on Tumblr on May 1st, as well as Go90 and select Oath properties. But yeah, the trailer is out there right now. I'm going to have to go watch it. I haven't watched it yet. So if you're into the Transformers and a fan of the original series, go check that out. And that's my last call. Anybody else?
I don't have anything.
All right then.
Yeah, I don't have anything either. I'm just waiting for Fortnite to load.
Okay, let's. Are we going to give Are we going to come back over the weekend sometime? Maybe like on a Sunday night and spoil the crap out of Infinity War?
Yes.
Are we just going to do it privately?
I think we should probably come together, record something, and throw it up on YouTube and Twitch as well.
I probably won't be around.
Come together right now. Spoiler free.
Okay, that was clever.
That was.
I'll allow it.
That was actually pretty good. Well, Tank, if you're not going to be around, does that mean we can't get together and record something?
No, I mean, by all means, I'm just saying that I probably won't be around. There's a good chance of it.
Okay.
Then again, we've also tried to do this before, and work comes up for one person or another, and we just
How
don't get together.
dare you have a life?
Well, I'm going to go down to the farm, and I got
To Paradise City?
to do an
And
inspection. No, that's too far south. Going to the family farm, going to do an inspection. Got a buddy with a drone. We're going to inspect all the structures.
You're just going to fly the drone. Don't lie.
He is. I'm not. I got work to do.
Well then. So, okay, so we'll do a private session and record something and throw it up on YouTube. Okay, well we can do that.
I just thought it's not just 20 minutes of us sobbing.
Why? Here we go.
Why did you have to kill Dumbledore?
Let's place a bet. Which of the male action heroes will be shirtless first? Dumbledore?
And it's going to turn out he's shredded. Do you even lift, bro?
Bruh. Well, because we know we're not going to get. I mean, it's aside from Scarlet Witch's push-up bra, we'll never see that much skin from the female characters.
Yeah,
But-
that's fine.
I mean, it's okay. I was just curious. Is it Thor, Captain America, or Star-Lord?
Hulk.
Who loses his shirt? Hulk. Well, yeah. Hulk's always shirtless.
It's going to be Hulk.
It'll be all right. But we'll be back next week or sometime. We'll post something up over the weekend for Infinity War. But we'll be back next week to talk more about that. Hopefully, not spoiling too much of it. And if we do spoil it, oh well, sucks to be you. But unless anybody else has anything else, unless you guys have anything, we're out of here. We out of here?
Yeah.
We're out. Say goodnight.
Good
Never
night,
mind.
boys.
Good night.
Later.
See ya.